we're going to do some more trig identities. This is on page 95 of your textbook, and I'm just going to go through the work. Okay, we have found so far this trig identity to be on the top right-hand side of your screen, sine squared plus cos squared equals 1, and the ones here are the ones that are in your formula sheet. What we're going to do is derive them. The first one here, okay, is the same formula except it's written in a different order, so we should all be happy with that. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to work this one out and this one out here. Okay, if you take the formula that we had to start with, the trig identity that we know, sine squared plus cos squared equals 1, and we divide everything through by sine squared. So what we're going to do is divide this whole side by sine squared, and this side by sine squared. Right, you should pause the video at this point and see whether you can keep going and come out with the same result as me. When you restart, you want to just check that you got the same things. Right, you should pause now. Okay, after your pause, this is what you should find. If you've got sine squared plus cos squared all over sine squared, we can split the fraction up. If you split the fraction up, then you get sine squared of x over sine squared of x to the unit fractions plus cos squared of x over sine squared of x. So splitting it up into two fractions, that gives you 1 over the sine squared of x. Right, this one here, sine x squared of x over sine squared of x is 1. This one here, if we take just this one here, let's just change my colour pen. If we take this one, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to take cos of x over sine of x. That's what it looks like, but then they're both being squared, so we can treat it like that. If that's the case, then what's in the bracket is the same as the cot of x, and it's being squared, so we can write that as cot squared of x. So over here, I can write cot squared of x. Right, carrying on. 1 over sine squared of x, well, 1 over the sine is the same thing as the cosec. So it's the cosec of x, but because it's squared, we'll put the square back on here. Now, this formula here is one of the versions of the formulas from this Pythagorean identity. So what we had, if you go back and have a look at it, we've got 1 plus cot squared equals cosec squared, and this is just written it in a different order. So it's cot squared plus 1 equals cosec squared, and what we have here in your formula sheets is that is exactly the same as that. If I rearrange this formula and I put the cot on the left hand side, make it the subject and put the 1 across, but then I get this formula, it's just rearranged. Okay, or if I put the cot squared on the right hand side, then I get this one here. So these are all the same formulas as the one above, except they're just rearranged. What it means is that you can, when using the first formula here, if you see something with cosec squared, okay, you can change it to this, or if you see 1 plus cot squared, you can change it to cosec squared. Just remember that. If you see something with cot squared, or you see a cosec squared minus 1, where you can change it to cot squared, and if you see these two things together, you can change it to this one. So what are we looking for when you look at formulas? You're looking for something that has cot and cosec, and they're both squared. If they are, then you can interchange them, and that's really convenient.